Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be going over characters I recommend building in Honkai Star Rail. Before we get into today's video though, let me know one of your favorite snacks. I personally really like Kit Kats. And lastly, if you guys enjoy videos like these, make sure to subscribe to win your next 50/50 and also hit the like button to support the video. Now, let's get straight into it. Let's start off today's video with one of my favorite 4 stars, Pela. Pela is an Ice Nihility character who has been around since version 1.0 of Honkai Star Rail. Pela is able to remove a buff from an enemy with her skill, reduce enemy ice resistance as well if you have her 4th Eidolon, and her ultimate can massively reduce all enemy defenses. And if you do use her technique, she'll be able to reduce enemy defenses at the start of a fight as well. Additionally, Pela will regain additional energy when an enemy is debuffed from her attacks, which allows her to use her ultimate more frequently. Pela is a great character that you can slot into practically any team because of how useful her defense reduction is for improving the damage output of practically any DPS character in the game. Pela can also take advantage of using her basic attack pretty often, which can result in her assisting with generating skill points for the team, and this is very useful to be able to have readily available skill points for your main damage dealer or even other supportive characters on the team. If you do have Pela's 4th Eidolon, this will make her even more valuable on teams with an Ice DPS. For example, Jingliu, Misha, or Yang Cheng, since she'll be able to reduce enemy ice resistance. For most team comps, I would recommend Pela as a nice supportive option, especially if you don't have a super premium support character on the team you are using. For example, a character like Ruan Mei, or even in cases if you need a good support for your secondary team in Memory of Chaos in the case you do have a character like Ruan Mei. Here are some team examples where you can take advantage of Pela's skill kit. Some can be the follow-up team if you don't have Robin. Acheron teams highly benefit from Pela's skill kit. Jingliu teams can take advantage of Pela's skill kit, and much more. She's just pretty universal, honestly, when it comes to slapping her on a team, as I've mentioned, so there's definitely a lot of team possibilities. When it comes to building Pela though, you can use 2-piece Messenger and 2-piece Guard of Withering Snow, or Longvius Disciple for more speed and defensive stats, 4-piece Eagle of Twilight Line to advance Pela forward after using her ultimate, which can allow her to act sooner, or lastly, the 4-piece Musketeer for additional speed, attack, and so on. For planar sets, you can go with Penacony if she's on a team with ice characters, Broken Keel so she has more effect resistance and she can also help give more crit damage to the team, or Fleet of the Ageless for more attack for the team and more HP for Pela. I would primarily prioritize the best main and substats for which set you do equip on Pela. Speaking of main stats and substats, you'll want an effect hit rate body piece if you don't have 57 or more effect hit rate in substats. You will want to go for 57% since one of Pela's traces will be able to increase her in combat effect hit rate by another 10%, so that means she'll have a total of 67% effect hit rate, and this will be enough for her to be able to inflict consistent debuffs onto enemies. If you do have enough effect hit rate from a light cone choice and substats, or just lucky substats, then you can go for HP or defense body for more sustainability. For boots, you'll want to go for speed boots, and you can go for 134 speed at a minimum, but I would recommend going for over 160 speed so that she can get frequent turns in battle to regain more skill points for the team, as well as get her ultimate faster from being able to attack more often. As for your orb, I would recommend HP or defense for more sustainability, and lastly energy regeneration rope to regain more energy with each attack for her ultimate to be used more frequently. For substats, I would prioritize getting enough effect hit rate to have 57% before combat, speed, and then HP and defense and effect resistance for her final substats to prioritize. For her trace upgrade priority, I would recommend investing the most into her ultimate to have the highest possible defense reduction onto enemies. Upgrading her talent to regain more energy from inflicting a debuff onto an enemy would be next, and then you can leave her skill and basic attack levels lower, as her priority would be the ultimate and talent, and of course her major traces that you can unlock. For light cones, I recommend Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat to inflict an additional defense debuff onto an enemy before the tutorial mission begins for more energy regeneration and effect hit rate, Incessant Rain if you do have this light cone, and so on. Overall, Pela is an easy to build supportive character who can improve a team's damage output, and she can be slotted into practically any team because of how universal her defense reduction debuff onto enemies is when it comes to being useful for team building and damage potential. Next on our list, we have Harmony Trailblazer. Harmony Trailblazer is an imaginary Harmony character who is a core character for break-centric team comps at the current moment. Harmony Trailblazer is able to allow everyone on the team to inflict super break damage onto weakness broken enemies when Harmony Trailblazer's ultimate is active. Harmony Trailblazer will also increase the break effect of allies, and when enemies are weakness broken, Harmony Trailblazer will be able to delay an enemy's action by 30%, which makes the enemy remain weakness broken a bit longer with a delayed action. And this is beneficial to inflict more instances of super break onto enemies. Harmony Trailblazer pairs nicely with characters such as Firefly, Boot Hill, Shui Yi, the new March 7th, and so on, and will be a very nice character for break and super break centric teams overall. For building Harmony Trailblazer, you want 4-piece Watchmaker, 2-piece Watchmaker or Thief, and 2-piece Messenger, or lastly 4-piece Thief can also work. For planar sets, you'll want to go with Talia, Sprightly Von Whack, or Penacony to further boost the imaginary damage of characters on the team, as well as have more energy regen. For main stats, you'll want HP or Defense Body for more sustainability, Speed Boots, HP or Defense Percentage Orb, and Energy Regeneration Rope. For substats, you'll want to prioritize Speed and Break Effect, and then HP and Defense will be nice overall. 134 speed minimum will be nice, but of course going higher will be good too, as you'll potentially have more turns within cycles, and for break effects you'll want a good amount, preferably 150 to 250%, the more the merrier for your Harmony Trailblazer, especially at Eidolon 4, because Harmony Trailblazer now will also give 15% of their break effect to other allies on the team. For Lycone options, Memories of the Past and Past Self and Mirror are incredible options for the break effect they'll provide Harmony Trailblazer and the additional benefits of each Lycone. For alternative options, I would recommend Meshing Cogs or Dance Dance Dance. Overall, Harmony MC has amazing utility with what they can provide for break-centric teams and are a great free-to-play character if you want to take your break teams to the next level. Now we have Gallagher. Gallagher is a Fire Abundance character who is able to debuff enemies with his ultimate and enhanced basic attack. He provides nice sustainability for the team and fits very nicely on break-centric teams, since he wants break effect to improve his outgoing healing, but this will also increase his break damage potential. Gallagher is able to inflict Besotted onto enemies with his ultimate, which increases the break damage enemies receive. Plus, each time enemies who are inflicted with Besotted are attacked, the team will be able to recover HP. After he uses his ultimate, he will have an enhanced basic attack that he will be able to use, and this will reduce an enemy's attack as well. When it comes to building Gallagher, you can use 2-piece Messenger with 2-piece Passerby, Watchmaker, or Thief of Shooting Meteor. You can also do 4-piece Passerby, 4-piece Thief of Shooting Meteor, or 4-piece Musketeer. Another option that you can honestly do for a 4-piece could also be the new Iron Break set. I actually tested this out in my previous video, and Gallagher was able to do a lot of damage with the super breaks on a team of him alongside the new March 7th, Harmony Trailblazer, and Ruame. So that could be an option too, just for the damage output that he'll be able to provide with those super breaks. Regarding planar sets, Forge is a good set for more speed, but when Gallagher hits enemies with fire weakness, now he'll have an increased 40% break effect for one turn. If you use him with a character like Firefly, since she can implant fire weakness onto enemies, this set is very easy for Gallagher to have a high uptime on. Other sets you can use would be Talia, Bleed of the Ageless, Broken Keel, or even Penacony to boost the fire damage of allies, and Sprightly Von Whack can also be used as well. Gallagher has a lot of planar and relic sets you can use that'll further his supportive capabilities, or even break potential even further. For Gallagher's main stats, I would recommend Outgoing Healing Body, Speed Boots, HP or Defense Orb, and Energy Regen Rope or Break Effect Rope. For substats, you'll want to prioritize Speed and Break Effect, then Effect Resistance, and then afterwards HP and Defense percent. For speed, you'll want to go for a nice minimum, which can be 134, but more speed is beneficial to gain more skill points for the team with his skill point positive skill kit. If you do use a character like Ruame on the team though, you can reduce his speed threshold you're aiming for by roughly 10 speed. As for Gallagher's break effect, 150% total will maximize his secondary trace for the most outgoing healing possible. This can be lower of course, but this is the amount to maximize the trace's potential. 50% effect resistance can be nice on Gallagher, and he will get 28% from his traces. As for light cones, you can use quid pro quo, what is real, multiplication, and perfect timing. If you have Night of Fright or Echoes of the Coffin, these are nice options as well. Overall, Gallagher is a very nice sustain to build, especially if you're looking for another sustain who could debuff enemies, or want a sustain who can fit very nicely on break-centric team comps. He works pretty nicely on Acheron teams, he works great on the Firefly break team, and he actually works very nicely for being March 7's Shifu, as he'll be able to get her a nice amount of charges because of him being able to attack multiple times in a row with the usage of his ultimate. As what you can do is his basic attack, ultimate, and then his enhanced basic attack, and since she'll deal follow-up after her Shifu uses a basic attack or skill, this will allow March to get a good amount of charges. This is huge for being able to dish out more damage, and I actually recently showcased March and Gallagher together in my previous video, so feel free to check it out. I will say one thing regarding Gallagher though, is that we will be getting Linkshot in 2.5, which is quite a bit away for right now, but I thought I'd bring this up as she will also be Fire Abundance, and I'm not too sure how similar they will be in their utility or skill kits, but I thought I'd make sure to let you guys know that of course we are getting another Fire Abundance character, and if you are interested in her and you already have other sustains built, then you could potentially just wait or hold off on building Gallagher, but I will say his benefits as of right now and his utility increasing even with March about to come out, so I still highly recommend him as a character overall. Now though, we have one of the best free-to-play pure fiction options, the spin to win queen herself, Herta. Herta is an Ice Erudition character who's able to deal AoE damage onto enemies and unleash frequent follow-up attacks onto enemies with her skill kit. For those that are struggling to clear pure fiction or to get the maximum rewards, Herta is an excellent option for going through the mode, especially if you pair her with characters such as Jade or Himiko if you do have them. When it comes to building Herta, I would recommend the Ash Blazing Grand Duke set the most, and Hunter of Glacial Forest as an alternative. For planar sets, I would recommend Glamoth, Inert Salcedo for additional follow-up and ultimate damage, or Duran Dynasty for additional follow-up attack damage and crit damage. It would ultimately come down to whichever planar set has the best main and substats. For main stats for the body piece, you'll want crit rate or crit damage, speed or attack boots, ice damage or attack orb, and lastly attack rope. For substats, you'll want to prioritize speed, crit rate, crit damage, and lastly attack. For trace priority, you'll want to work on Herta's talent and skill, then her ultimate, and lastly her basic attack. For light cone options, great options would be Night on the Milky Way, Genius's Repose, Before Dawn, Internal Calculus, The Seriousness of Breakfast, and so on. Overall, Herta has plenty of light cone options you can use, and she'll be a great asset to use if you're struggling in modes like Pure Fiction. For our next character, we have Asta. Asta is a Fire Harmony character who is a great character to use if you are lacking a lot of the premium supports. She could work very nicely on damage over time teams, and teams who would appreciate her attack and speed buffs that she can provide. Especially if paired with a Dance 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 light cone, she'll be speeding up and advancing forward the entire team with her ultimate, which results in your characters being able to attack more frequently within turn cycles, and this can actually help you with clearing Memory of Chaos stages within the 10 total cycle count for the maximum rewards on both sides. The attack buffs and speed buffs are very beneficial for damage over time teams, as this will allow your damage over time characters to inflict more damage over time onto enemies, but also have increased attack, which improves their damage output. Additionally, Asta can also boost the fire damage of allies, and she can assist with withering down enemy toughness meters with her skill. For building Asta, you'll be looking at 4-piece Messenger, 2-piece Messenger, and 2-piece Longevous, 4-piece Musketeer, or lastly 4-piece Watchmaker. For planar sets, you'll want to go for Fleet of the Ageless, Broken Keel, Penacony if you're further buffing the damage of fire allies, or Sprightly Von Whack. For main stats, you'll want HP percent or defense percent body, speed boots, HP or defense orb, and lastly energy regen robe. For Asta's substats, you'll want to prioritize speed and then HP and defense stats for more survivability, and if you have the Broken Keel set equipped, then you'll want to ensure that she has at least 30% effect resistance. For speed goals, you can go for 134, but I would recommend 143 or over 160 plus speed if possible, so that your Asta can act more often. For Asta's trace priority, you'll want to upgrade her talent and ultimate the most, and for her best light cones, you'll be looking at Dance Dance Dance, Meshing Cogs, Memories of the Past, Planetary if you're using her alongside fire allies, and you can also use Carve the Moon, Wave the Clouds if you have this as well, and so on. Overall, Asta is a great free-to-play supportive character, especially if you don't really have too many supportive options on your account. Now we have one last supportive character, which is Tingyun. Tingyun is a lightning harmony character who is able to increase an ally's attack with her skill, give an ally energy, and increase their damage with her ultimate. Tingyun is an amazing support for being able to allow your main damage dealer to be able to use their ultimate more often, and her buffs can be useful for most DPS characters in the game, which makes her a pretty universal support on most teams. When it comes to building Tingyun, you'll want to do 4-piece Messenger, 4-piece Musketeer, or 2-piece Messenger, 2-piece Guard of Withering Snow. For planar sets, Broken Keel, Penacony, Fleet of the Ageless, or Vonwak can be nice options. For her main stats, you'll want Attack Body, Speed Boots, Attack Orb, and Energy Regen Rope. For subsets, Speed and Attack percent will be your priority, and then defensive stats such as HP percent, Defense percent, and Effect Resistance, especially if you are using Broken Keel. For Tingyun, you can go for a minimum 134 speed, but I would highly recommend over 160 as she'll be able to act often and regenerate skill points for the team, as well as generate more energy for her ultimate so that she can use her ultimate more often on your DPS character. For Tingyun's trace priority, you'll want to focus on her ultimate and skill the most. For light cones, I would recommend Dance 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 the most to advance the team forward after using her ultimate, but alternative options can be Meshing Cogs, Memories of the Past, Carve the Moon, Weave the Clouds, and Planetary if you pair her with a lightning DPS. Overall, Tingyun is an incredible supportive character to use on a bunch of teams because of how flexible her buffs can be for most teams. The main team you won't really see Tingyun on though is Acheron teams, since Acheron uses slash stream stacks instead of energy for her ultimate. As for quick notable mentions before we wrap up today's video, it would be Xingshui, Shuiyi, and the new March 7th. Xingshui and Shuiyi are both powerful quantum DPS characters, as Xingshui has powerful AoE potential, and Shuiyi has been on the rise lately, especially with more break-oriented allies such as Harmony Trailblazer. Both of these options are very strong 4-stars that you can consider investing into, especially if you are lacking DPS options on your account. As for March 7th, I recently released a showcase in my guide on her, and she's a very nice free-to-play friendly character as she has multiple playstyles with how her skill kit operates, and she can even be more crit focused or a break hybrid build. You can pair her alongside teams such as the follow-up team, you can use her as a hyper carry, you can also pair her alongside other DPS characters, for example Yunli for a dual DPS oriented comp, and you can even go the super break route by pairing her with characters such as Ruame, Harmony MC, and Gallagher. March 7th will be able to reduce enemy toughness meters by the element of her Shifu, which means if the enemy is fire weak and not imaginary weak, and you give some Boba to Topaz and Numbi, then March will actually still be able to reduce enemy toughness meters. And March can also provide nice buffs to an ally that she does make her Shifu, which gives her a lot of utility with her skill kit, and overall she's been very fun to play as well as provides nice benefits after getting to test her. That'll be all though for the characters I recommend building in Honkai Star Rail outside of premium 5-star options, as most of the options listed here were either 4 stars or our free Harmony Trailblazer. Let me know what teams or characters you guys have been using recently in the comments down below, and if you did enjoy this video, feel free to subscribe to see more Star Rail content from me, leave a like to support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.